Nothing we say is investment advice. Please pause on all 3 pages of this disclaimer and read it.
Good morning, everybody. Cowboy here. It is Wednesday, May the 20th, 8:34 a.m. EST. Got started just a couple minutes late today. Sometimes that's just the way it works. We're taking a look at silver today, and we do seem to think, we being me, I seem to think that this might rise up. In fact, I drew this just the other day. I think I drew it in the private live lab, though. I don't think this was given to everybody out here. And of course, this is a forecast. We don't give investment advice. But it does look like silver might be setting up for a move up. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to zoom out and take a look at that. Before we get started, though, remember, we teach people how to predict where price is going to go on a chart and when it's going to get there, and you can extract money from that. That's what we do here at Algo Factory. We teach you how to do that. And if you look in the description, there is a free algo, right? It's just a free video. It shows you how I build a simple algo. You do need to optimize that before you use it, but it shows you how I turn it into code, and it shows you tools the traders use to connect it to their broker, which is the first step to creating an agentic trading AI bot. So that way you can trade without actually doing so. You have the computer trade for you based on directions you give it. And it's pretty cool stuff. So silver's on an uptrend, right? So if I were to zoom out, we can take a look at what's happened over the past few months, right? We had the massive move up last year, all-time highs, silver just blowing the doors off everything. And then, of course, we had the big move down that happened at the beginning of the year, end of January. Beginning of February, we had the conflict start. We also had this major push down because the COMEX went ahead and played some games. They raised the margin, it pushed the paper silver trading game down. Now, what we're hearing from the gorilla, who I don't think he's coming today. He might. He was here yesterday, though. It was great. And long story short, he's saying people are still buying silver. That's the physical market has not changed. It's continued to show demand. So we had silver bounce at these lows with these paper games that got played. A low of 63, another low at what is this? 60-ish, yeah, right about 60, and then it's just been hanging out above that ever since, and it's in a bit of an uptrend. Mick, good morning. Always good to have you on, sir. Thanks for joining us. Yes, another day in the office, correct. And silver's in an uptrend. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you're seeing higher highs and higher lows. So that's a higher high there, and this appears to be forming a higher low. Okay, so as long as silver stays above $70 and then heads above this recent high of $89, then we're in a confirmed uptrend, right? And it looks like it wants to do that. It really does. If I were to take a look at some of the data here at the bottom of the screen, the indicator stack, that can kind of tell us from a high time frame standpoint that silver is indeed bullish, although the energy that it spent to get from, let's look at the real high time frame chart here. The energy it spent to get from $17 up to $123, which is just insane. That's like a times, I don't know what that is, times 6, times 7, something. That, that got expended. That really took its toll, right? So the question is, okay, where is it going to drop to? I mean, the price that makes the most sense, if you just look at price action, would be about $50. But it does seem that the market will not let price go that low, right? Even a $55 level is decent, but price has tried to head down there a couple times and it just simply hasn't happened. So what might happen with metals, and I know everybody thinks it's going to just explode and it's going to go up forever and ever. Actually, a sideways move here for a long time is realistic. And it's what started to happen here. Now you're looking at a monthly chart. So the chart you're looking at is very high time frame. It's going back to 2025, right? So it could be the rest of the year. Silver just kind of bops and bounces around and it stays below maybe 95 or stays below 120. It just creates this sideways deal. And that's fine. That's, I can make money trading that. I don't have a problem with that. It would be stellar if it stayed above like 50 or 55 the whole time, right? So the very high time frame look gives us perspective that this big move up is going to have to cool off Now, it might not have to cool off for very long. It could have to do with what happens with the economy, the dollar, world reserve currency, if that really, really starts to kind of collapse, or if the prospect of war really seems like it's imminent, or there's a lot of reasons why silver may go up. But just mind you that the supply of silver is not going up at this time. Like it's just being bought up. And anytime you see that, the supply shock, you get these big moves. And so that shock can continue to push price up. Now, if I were to project how high silver might go eventually, it might not be this month, it might not be this year, it might be this year, I would do what's called a Fibonacci extension. And the purest extension would look like this. The most conservative high time frame look would take price up to $172. And that could easily happen by the end of this year. Just letting you all know that. But that rise that we're talking about in this show is more of a short-term deal, right? It's just more of a short-term or a shorter-term outlook. And if price stays above this low that it just created right at $73, right? It seems to be creating a low right now. And if it can stay above this and it starts to go sideways and up, then the two levels I'd have my eye on are right there on the screen. One level would be $89. And if price can make it above 89, it's going to approach this very important level of 96. 96 is the highest high that we had, with the exception of the all-time high, right? Now, it may be that the people who make the rules or whatever, the people who run the game don't want price to go above this. So even though price may want to go above that, they may slam it down again. We have to be aware of that. So, trading this whole game, like let's just say you bought a bunch of silver at $10 or something, like if you get a nice move up, it never hurts to take a little off. I'm not giving you investment advice, but it never hurts to take off a little bit of profit at a nice high point. And, you've won at that point. And if price goes back down, you can just go buy back in, right? So all that said, I think that's basically what is going to happen. This, what I drew, that is a good theory. Okay. So let's move on. I think I'll just take a quick look at the NASDAQ. I think we have time for that before the private live lab. Don't forget to like and subscribe. All right. We give this information out here, like, weekly, 3 days a week. We just give it away. So because we're giving a lot of free stuff away, do us a favor. If you think what we provide is valuable, like and subscribe. 60% of you who watch this do not subscribe. And I don't take it personally, but it sure be cool if you do that. Share it with your friends too. We are like the best kept secret on the trading space. We actually show trades, right? Actually, we'll trade on here, show the trades beforehand, and you'll see the wins and the losses, especially if you're an Algo Factory. Like you'll see the wins and the losses. Just did a EURUSD trade that I lost on Monday, right? Well, I'm not proud of that, but that's just part of the process. If you are a trader, a professional trader, a real trader, you're going to lose a certain percent of your trades. And if you're on Twitter looking at these like guys showing all their wins and they're not showing you any losses, well, then they're a scam. They're just a scam. I would bet all my money that if you see a guy and all he's posting are his wins, he's a scam. Post your losses too. Post your trades before you take them. You want to be real. You want to be a real trader. You got to post all your trades, or at least post a fair amount of your trades, such that we can see wins and losses. Okay, good. And post them before you take them. Let's see what you got. I do it live here on this show on a regular basis. Now, of course, I didn't take this trade. We didn't see the breakout that we needed to see. The algos didn't line up how I needed them to line up. But this is still valid. I expected this to head down. This was just a setup. And for now, it has averted that, right? It's still a good setup. The head and shoulders is still in play. It actually did break through, but it didn't close below the neckline, right? So this dotted line is the neckline. And on this 3-hour chart, this is held up. I'm going to tell you right now, anytime you see a candle that looks like this is probably some kind of manipulation. So it's hard to see on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and illustrate what that is. Now, I don't even know what this is called, but you see these candles that have, it's basically kind of like around a quarter or a third of it is the candle body, and it's in the middle. of two kind of long wicks, aka tails. So it looks like this. Yeah, oops. And a lot of times the candle body can be a bit longer. But anytime I've seen this, and I learned this actually trading cryptocurrency, anytime you see a candle that kind of looks like that, even tails, right? Even wicks, even shadows, however you want to call these, more or less kind of the same size, and it's in the middle and it's kind of a thicker look than that. That's almost always evidence of some kind of weird like battle or manipulation or any, it may not be manipulation, although these markets are 100% manipulated. I mean, there's no doubt. It's a very well-known thing. And anybody who says, no, it's all organic, well, good luck to you. And that's fine. It's just part of the game. But that right there indicates that something was going to happen and somebody else kept it from happening, or they tried to. So that said, I didn't take this trade, and I'm going to guess that a lot of people saw this setup because it's just a very common setup, right? It's a very kind of meat and potato setup. These head and shoulders really play out pretty well, and I think a lot of people may have gone short at that time, and then the smart money used all of that bearish activity to fill their longs, right? So when you're going to buy something, you need a lot of people to sell it. So this right here is pretty unnatural to see a big head and shoulders like that to literally go in the opposite direction. It's about a 20% chance that happens. So just so you understand, like that's not a high probability scenario that we just saw. But when you have all the money in the world and whatever game you're playing requires the markets to go up, then you will make sure those markets go up. And it's not to say they won't come back down. But if I were to take a look at the stack here, it's vulnerable. It certainly is that. But if the powers that be and the masters of the universe want to keep it going up, and they want to go broke doing it, then they will, and they'll probably make money. They probably won't go broke. They can literally print money out of thin air. So just understand that. So for the moment, it's hard to even talk about what the Nasdaq's going to do on a higher time frame. Is it going to pull back? Is it not? It's supposed to pull back, but it appears to be held up. Is it going to be held up for a period of time? I don't know. Today is the FOMC minutes. So we get to see basically the notes that the Fed made during their last meeting. And that comes out, I believe, at 2 p.m. today EST. Let's see. Let's take a look at Forex Factory. FOMC, yeah, that's 2 p.m. EST that comes out. So perhaps that will shake things up a bit. I don't know. And there's always the chance that this is a manipulation and the market just wanted to buy here. I doubt it. That's a low probability scenario, but it is what it is. So we're going to move forward into the private live lab. Thank you guys for watching. Like, subscribe, like we talked about. Give us a thumbs up. Tell your friends about us. And there's the free algo. Just get the free algo. Go in there. And if you get that free algo, you'll be on a list of emails where you're going to get my Monday forecast every week. Now, Monday forecasts are tricky because Mondays are always tricky, but I've been doing some great setups, some winning setups on Mondays, right? And then the setups that are not winners, I tend not to get into those because the market has somehow changed or whatever the case may be. And when you trade, you're going to win a percentage, you're going to lose a percentage. So your job is to just make sure that you win more often than you lose and that you win bigger than you lose. And if you can do that, you can be profitable and you can create for yourself an extra income stream. So come on over, algofactory.tech, learn to trade like a hedge fund pro, and we will see you tomorrow, Thursday, 8:30 a.m. EST sharp. Don't forget.
Join us or die.
Just kidding. You're not going to die. We love you, and we will see you.